It's June 20th. It's Father's Day. I'm gonna tell you the reason why I hate Father's Day. I'm gonna start off with my own feelings from when I was a kid to all the way now. So since I was a kid, I never got to know my father. And my mother was on drugs. And I never got to know anything about a father figure or anything. I never got to experience saying good morning, Dad, happy Father's Day, Dad, or I love you, Dad. And I never really have a true friend. I guess my only true friends is Jay Sean Brown, Jermaine Brown, and basically Tavian Mack, my cousin-in-law through marriage, Even though we had our little fell out, I forgive him, I forgive anybody. But people just don't seem to forgive me. I know there's sins out there like killing and robbing and like brutally hurting somebody. There's intentionally and non-intentionally. And what I'm going through in life right now, it's like I did my wrongs in life, my fair share of wrong, and I did my fair share of good. But it's like almost it. Just because the mankind, say that it ain't fair, and some people may rather see me hurt because of my wrongs, or maybe want to see me in jail, or want to see me going through some type of pressure or some type of get back to like punish me for like a mistake, something you do when you was drunk. I used to drink a lot. I used to come home late. I used to cheat on my wife. I used to do numerous things that wasn't right, in my life towards a husband, or a man being with a woman, or a man just being with a woman who got kids. There's a lot of drunk things that I shouldn't have done. There's a lot of drunk things that I should never shown around my household. Be that, I don't want to discuss exactly the amounts of the wrong that I've done, but all I ask for out of my wife, out of my past, is stop bringing up my past, Stop trying to pull me through the mud or trying to find some type of wrong with me or in me because what I did in the past. Like, I don't live in the past no more. I don't do those things anymore. And I ask in the name of Jesus, if God could forgive me for my wrong, no matter what level of wrong is, it might be wrong in your eyes. But if you sincerely say you forgave me, quit bringing it up. Like, I'm tired of them bringing up when I try to be a father, when I try to discipline them, or when I try to be the father figure that they always needed, they bring up my wrong, even though they don't agree with everything that I'm saying or everything that I'm doing, even though I'm in the right, because I'm a parent, I'm a stepfather. And if you're my child, or you're my friend, or you my mother or my father or anything like that, if you say you generally forgave somebody, I expect you to either forgive me and leave me alone, or forgive me and don't talk to me, or forgive me and give me a second chance and we could build. But don't say you forgive me and you really want to hate me, or you really want to hurt me, or you really want to see something done to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what was the whole point or purpose of saying you forgave me for my wrong and you trying to punish me because you feel like I did something wrong, right? And if true or false, if only God could judge you, like Tupac say, if only God could judge you, and it's like, what's the whole purpose of God judging you when us as human beings, man, woman, boy, girl, child, we're judging each other constantly. It's up to another human picking and choosing, regardless if you deserve to get killed or you deserve to get time or beat or anything. There's plenty mans who makes plenty mistakes. There's a man out there who used to beat on his woman. I'm not saying men who beat on a woman deserve a second chance. I'm not saying that they don't. But at the end of the day, who's to say what's right and what's wrong? You know, why would another human justify to give another human time in jail or in a cell or taking their life away just because they made a mistake? Even when a killer or a murderer, like if somebody kills somebody because they broke in their house, you know, don't you know that the law is you can't physically kill them if they break in your house? You have to shoot them in the leg or something like that, you know? And a lot of people will say, well, you might have the law wrong, but I do know it's against the law to kill somebody, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes it was a purpose for that person to be dead. Sometimes it was a purpose, or sometimes all mass murderers is not really crazy, and all fucking robbers is not really all robbers like that. Sometimes a person is going through something. Sometimes that person could be mental. Sometimes that person could need help. And me going through what I was going through, my mental health issues, going through being without having a father, being with a mother who was on drugs, being what I was going through, I didn't know how to cope with a lot of things. I didn't know how to overcome a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? So when I made my mistakes and I came home and I cheated on my wife, and I did everything to impossible to seem like to hurt my wife or to hurt myself or the kids in the situations, I was too drunk to realize my wrong. You know, I would keep drunk to, I'm not trying to make excuses for it, but I was too drunk to make right choices. I was too toxic at the time to get myself mentally and physically in shape to be a father that they needed, to be a husband that she needed, on top of both of our wrong that we did to each other. Like, I needed love, I needed care, I needed hope, you know? So that's why I say the world will never be a better place if we can't forgive one another. The world will never be a better place if every time you see somebody doing wrong, you want to beat them or you want to hurt them. Or sometimes people is sick in the head. Sometimes people don't know why they doing what they doing. Sometimes people is on drugs. And just because they own this and they own that, I'm not saying that it makes it better. And I'm not saying that they deserve to get hurt or they deserve to go through something. I'm just saying, I just don't feel like every time you do some type of wrong, you deserve to be punished. I do agree that you deserve to learn from your mistake. You know, you deserve to be set somewhere and left alone for a certain amount of days. I didn't say years or months or your whole life determined based on what your wrong is, but I will say, sometimes when I got sober and I spent some time at my sister's house, I spent some time away from my wife, I spent some time away from my stepkid, the time away, you know, it let me realize my wrong. It let me sit down to myself and think to myself, how can I better myself? And one of the things I did, I stopped drinking. I tried to discipline them. I try to be a better father. I try to, you know, show them my love by buying them things, show them my love by, you know, stop drinking, stop doing the alcohol. Show them my love and that what I did wrong was a mistake by not doing it no more, not coming home drunk no more, not arguing with mom as much, not arguing with them as much, trying to give them their weight. Like, I did several things to try to make things right with my wife and my stepkids, but they're not gonna never forgive me or or never let that shit go. As far as long as the past exists, as long as the wrong that I've done still exists, and I'm not dead or killed over it or punished over it, then it's like I could never get no forgiving until basically I go through the same pain that they go through. But they don't understand that I'm going through pain each day when you don't mind me, and when you don't really forgive me, when you know I'm a grown adult, even though I'm your stepfather and cousin just because, or you're swinging at your mom just because, or you're basically not doing your homework because you're not getting your way, and you know I'm actually trying to do all the right things. And out of all y'all fathers who was able to have you by your mom, something that I always wanted was to have my own seed by my own woman, and the only seed that I had or supposedly had wind up not really being mine, you know? So it's like, two wrongs don't make a right. And it's like, no matter what you go through in life, you're gonna constantly like go through the pain. You're gonna constantly go through the withdrawals, constantly go through shit. And at the end of the day, who's to say that you're in the right? Who's to say that you're in the wrong? But that's why I don't like Father's Day. That's why I don't fuck with Father's Day. Because I really want my own kid. Because I really want to be happy. Because I really feel like I overcome my wrong and the shit that I did wrong. I feel like I overcome it. I don't do it no more. I don't live there no more. And I just want to go on with life. I just want to be happy with my wife, or happy with somebody who will love me for me, and happy around some kids who will appreciate me, who adore me for me, and who willing to wake me up with gifts and say Happy Father's Day, Happy Birthday, and I love you, and thank you for never leaving me, and thank you for never turning your back on me like my father did, or thank you no matter what wrong happened for not turning your back on me. So that's like basically what I'm saying. Is like, for not turning my back on my stepkids, I just pray one day, no matter what wrong I may done to their mother, no matter wrong that I done in their life, I'm not perfect, and no human being's not perfect, and maybe I don't deserve to be blessed with a kid, or maybe I don't deserve to be blessed with this and that, but I don't deserve to suffer in heaven. I don't deserve to suffer on earth because y'all say so. Until you become God, until you become the Almighty, as long as you just human, bleed the same way, pee the same way that I do, there's nobody perfect, right? So in due time, there's nobody perfect. Don't judge me, judge yourself. Yeah, I would like to one day have a kid by my wife, or anybody for that matter. And yeah, one day, I hope God give me that happiness and joy that I deserve. If not, I die sad, and I die being punished over my past. And if I die from anything, it's probably gonna be from stomach cancer, from drinking too much, or not eating the wrong things, or not eating the right things, I mean. And I guess for the wrong that I done in my life. And I'm trying to get my stomach right and trying to figure out what's wrong with my stomach. And I just pray to God that everything that was wrong with my stomach and everything that God meant to happen I just hope it happened for a reason, for a season. And I just hope I can get somewhere in my life where I could be happy and I can put all this over me. As long as I live, as long as I still bust, and that, maybe God will still give me a chance. Find the right woman to put that seed in. I love you all, my heart and soul. This is my happy Father's Day, but sad Father's Day story. Why I'm hurt, why I'm in pain, why I hate Father's Day, why I dislike Father's Day, and why I wish I could overcome on Father's Day. I feel like I deserve to be forgiven. If you truly forgave somebody, you're supposed to leave that shit in the past. And as old, you done outgrown it by now. You done overcome it, and if a person generally showed their change, you should let that go and move on with life. Maybe you might not never forget it every time you see that person, but if you could overcome every weakness and every problem, every icicle, and everything that goes around in life. But if you go around holding a grudge and wishing worse on that person, you become no better than me. And I love you. To all my stepfathers out there, happy Father's Day. All my fathers who got their kids taken away by the system. All the mothers that have to raise kids on their own. I apologize. If anything that ever happened to you in your life, this is my message. I apologize. Human is human, people are people. But even though we all may blood the same or bleed the same, but we all don't love the same, we all don't think the same, and we all don't go through the same pain. This is my message. Peace.